Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm doing a video all about cutting benefits. And the reason why is because when I did a video about taxing the wealthy, so wealth tax, I received a lot of comments about we just need to scrap the benefit system or tighten up on benefits and it's problem solved, which were comments I'd fully anticipated receiving. So I'm going to start this video off by saying to you, how many people would you be willing to push into poverty to stop a handful of cheats? When people talk about cutting benefits, the focus is always on preventing fraud. So stopping people from cheating the system, essentially. Now, in statistics, this would be known as a type 1 error. We're paying somebody who shouldn't be getting paid. So it's a type 1 error. But here's the thing I rarely ever hear about, and it's that type 2 error. That's when someone who genuinely deserves to be paid is wrongly denied it. When we tighten the rules, we see an increase in that type 2 error. Now, what's really important is that we look at some statistics here. Is this really a big problem? So I've got some statistics. I will cite where I found all these statistics in the description box below. In 2024 to 2025, the stats show that 3.3% of total benefit spending was due to either fraudulent claims or error. Now, I really want to change that framing, okay? So what we're actually saying is in 2024 to 2025, almost 97% of total benefit spending was correctly paid. This means the system worked for the overwhelming majority. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're telling me it's 3.3% of total benefit spending. That still comes out to a whopping £9.5 billion, which could have been better spent in an economy where we desperately need more money. So yeah, you're right. That sounds like an awful lot of money. But here's the thing. There's a reason why we focus on proportions than we do on the headline figures. But because I know the headline figures is what you're going to want to look at, let's at least be fair. Let's try and put it into perspective a little bit. Let's look at the headline figure for tax evasion, for example. So in 2021 to 2022, I know I'm not comparing the same years here, and I really should be, but this is the one I could find. Tax evasion lost us £12.4 billion. That's more than what we're losing in benefits or benefit fraud. So not only is that more money than what we're losing in benefit fraud, we're losing that when it's coming from people who have far more than those relying on benefits. Okay? Now, why is there this big push from the public to cut benefits, given what I've just said? And I have thought about this, and I genuinely think it's down to a bit of cognitive bias. In particular, I think there's something called availability heuristic at play. So this is where people judge how common something is based on how easily examples come to mind. So for example, you hear media stories about benefit cheats, or people can bring up examples of someone that they know is cheating the system. The problem with this means is because you can quite easily come up with examples, it makes people think this problem is a lot more widespread than it actually is. So, imagine a tennis player who played a perfect shot 97% of the time. Would you be calling that tennis player broken? Because we call the benefit system broken because there is around about a 3% fraud rate. In a perfect world, we would have a benefit system and we wouldn't have any fraud. The problem is to be able to crack down on the fraud rate, it would be costly, okay? And it is very likely that the cost of stopping every false claim would be higher than the cost of fraud itself. And I mean that both financially, because of the systems that we'd have to put in place, but also because of tightening the rules would incur a type 2 error. And that's a social cost in and of itself. Now, for some of you who are really harsh out there, I'm pretty sure that you're going to argue back, well, you know what? The easy way to do this is just scrap the entire welfare system entirely. If there's no benefits, you can't get any benefit fraud. Problem solved, right? I really don't like that. I mean, you could solve a lot of problems by just essentially saying, like, by taking that away, and I don't really think that's problem solved. But this is where I like to think about something called the fail of ignorance theory by Rawls. And I think it really, really matters in this situation, because the people that are saying, well, let's scrap the benefit system entirely, are probably people that in their current situation aren't relying on benefits. And they maybe don't see themselves in the future ever having to rely on benefits. So they're willing to scrap something that isn't going to affect them. And actually, they'd probably gain from if it got scrapped, because the money would be spent on other things in the economy. Now, Rawls' idea of the veil of ignorance theory was, when it comes to designing a society, what we really need to do is we need to pretend we're behind this veil. So what you need to say is, well, I need to say, how would I design society if I didn't know how I was going to be born? Would I be born rich or poor, healthy or disabled, lucky or unlucky, female or male, what kind of ethnicity? If you didn't know all of these things, how would you design a society? Now, would you really, given this, choose a system with no safety net at all? I wouldn't. And given that this came off the bat of the wealth tax video, I just want to remind you to really stress, because I don't think people kind of realise where they are kind of standing in terms of wealthiness in society. You are much closer to needing support than you are to ever joining the top 1%. Bye, guys.